and gentlemen, it's me, T-Bone, from the LUNSB Show with T-Bone and Chick Brew. It's Sunday morning. It's 10:30. It's time for the Supplemental. Every Sunday morning we get together and we do three things. We talk about your national days of the week. We give you a comedy, a community, or charity event that we want you to know about. And we wrap things all up with This Week in History, trivia style. 7 questions, all medium choice, all multiple choice answers provided. All multiple choice answers are provided, and the difficulty is set to medium. We start things off with your national days of the week. Dumb. We'll try this. I'll do the best I can. I don't know. I'm looking at it for the very first time. Tomorrow, Monday, June 15th, is National Smile Power Day. Now, I am a graduate of kinesthetic interviews and interrogations. Kinesthetic. I don't know. It's been a long time since I got the diploma. Basically, what it comes down to is you can understand if someone's being truthful or not by their body language. Yes. If you're conducting an interview or an interrogation and you pay attention to the cues, you can find out if someone is telling the truth. And what I learned during those studies of kinesthetic interviews and interrogations was a smile is not always a smile. A smile can be rage hidden behind teeth. You don't believe me? Take any picture of your family smiling and cover up their eyes. If you cover up their eyes, you're going to be able to see if they are angry while faking the funk, while throwing up a smile. Now, on Monday, June 15th, National Smile Power Day, I don't think they're talking about the murderous smile that psychopaths give you when they're hiding their rage behind their teeth. I think what they're talking about is smiles, like laughter, can be contagious. Good can be contagious. So can evil. But we're not focusing on making evil popular. We're making good popular. And you never know what someone is going through. You never know. And a smile and a polite greeting can change their day. True story. Anyone who's been with me for a while knows I suffered a great loss recently. And in the days closest to that loss, I was distraught. There's no other word that explains it. I was not in a good way. And people that greeted me graciously with a smile made me feel better, whether they intended to or not. And those people who were not gracious and didn't smile at me were on the verge of danger because they had no idea what I was going through. And I was distraught and rage-filled and angry. And they were one step closer to the edge. So every day should be Smile Power Day. Because every day you treat your fellow human beings on this rock circling through space at ungodly speeds. You treat everybody with genuine kindness. And you smile. And you say things like, good morning, and hello. You start every day with a positive mental attitude and let it go down from there. But you're gracious and courteous to your fellow human beings, and you never know how that might be received. But most of the time, it's going to be received in a positive way. Occasionally, some weirdos out there going, the next person that says good morning to me, I'm going to... No, we're not thinking about those people. We're thinking about the good people in the world. So, put a happy smile on your face on Monday, June 15th. National Smile Power Day. to your comments, because I saw some pop in. LUNSB is worldwide. After COVID and wearing masks, we had to learn to smile with our eyes, too. There's no such thing. Let me try it. I can laugh with my eyes. I cannot smile with my eyes. I'm pretty sure we've done this before, so let's choose one that we haven't done before to test my range. Tuesday, June 16th is National Fresh Veggies Day. I don't know if fresh is needed, because I don't believe there's a stale veggies day. There's an opposite of fresh veggies day. I think it's just veggies day, and we just assume that they're fresh. I think that makes for a good question of the week. Like, what is your favorite vegetable? Don't answer here. If you're going to answer, I'm going to ask you to answer during the other thing, and with images only. I like vegetables. I eat a lot of vegetables. I don't eat as many vegetables as Brandon eats. Brandon is man, that guy eats lots of vegetables. And he's got the body that shows it. Good for him. Good for him. I'm so happy for him. Ugh. I'm also really jealous. Because I've been eating salads for years. And I don't have a body like that. But he's just over there just chomping on his vegetables all day long. Just chomping away. And now he's got a groundhog in his backyard. And he's chomping away too at his vegetables. There are no fresher vegetables than vegetables that you grow yourself. And I don't know if these things still exist, but if they do, the most low-maintenance fresh vegetables that you can get are these things called topsy-turvies. You build yourself a little cross, and you bury it in your backyard, a T for tolerance, if you will. And you hang two topsy-turvies on them, and you put the cucumbers in one, the mini cucumbers in one, and you put the cherry tomatoes in the other. Man, you are going to have so many tomatoes and so many cucumbers. You're not going to be able to eat them all. They're tasty and delicious, and there is no fresher than pulling out of a little topsy-turvy in your backyard. Because they're not even in the dirt. A lot of these things are in the dirt. These aren't even in the dirt. They grow out the bag. They grew out of the dirt. I don't care how you get your fresh vegetables, but get some in your belly. Specifically, on June 16th, National Fresh Veggies Day. Moving on. I don't have any water. That is so stupid. I don't even know what that is. Oh, these are difficult. Well, I'll do the best I can. No, that's just stupid. I don't know who Stewart is. Wednesday, June 17th, is National Apple Strudel Day. Strudel with apple. I think we talked about this last week. I'm really not sure of the differences. Schnitzel is meat. Strudel is braided pastry with reservoirs for things in them. They could be a mixture of different things, or it could just be apple stuff. It's not an apple. It's apple stuff. It's a jam, a mixture of apple-flavored goodness in between the braided things of the strudel. But apple also pairs very well with schnitzel, which I confused for strudel. I thought the thing I was having in Germany was strudel, but it was schnitzel. But I also had schnitzel and strudel in Germany. This was definitely talked about last week. In last week's episode, which I hope you got to listen to. That was a fun one. So, I don't know where your nearest strudel may come from. I don't know where the nearest place to get strudel is. Would Duncan have strudels? I don't know. But on Wednesday, June 17th, I'm going to go out of my way to see if I can find some apple strudel for National Apple Strudel Day. Snagglepuss, man. It's Snagglepuss. Every time I say that now, you're in my brain. You got me thinking, but you got the name wrong. I got the name right. The cat's name was Snagglepuss. Yes, certainly. One of the options I had to choose from on the 17th was Eat Your Vegetables Day, which I just thought was stupid because it's implied the day before National Fresh Vegetables Day. Looking at Thursday. I don't do internationals. I've told you before I don't do internationals. I just do nationals. Okay, I will do this because it gives me a chance to shout out. Thursday, June 18th is National Go Fishing Day. Oh, that's not too hard, is it? Just go fishing on a Thursday, because that makes sense. This is clearly one of those days that should be a floater. It should be like the second Saturday of the month of June, second Saturday of June. It should be something like that. It shouldn't be a set day so that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, days where you're expected to be at work, you're trying to enjoy the spirit of the national days of the week. You're trying to find a reason to celebrate every day, and you want to go fishing, but no one's going fishing after work, unless you live on a lake that's stocked with fish that have no survival instincts whatsoever. I guess then you could go fishing after work, but normally if you go fishing, you go early. I don't really know. I don't know how fishing works. I do know that my mentor, my friend, the man I probably look up to, the living man I probably look up to the most, my friend Jack O'Brien. He's my fishing guide, and he would say, "Let's go," and I would just go. It didn't matter what time of the day was, or what the tides were like, or what the weather was. It didn't matter. Jack said, "Let's go." We went, and we would catch fish, and we would eat those fish. But I would not touch those fish because I have issues. I got issues. So just so you know, on Thursday, June 18th, if you want to go fishing with me, I'll go fishing with you. I got no problem going fishing. Oh, but not Thursday. Thursday? Yeah, not this Thursday. I'm doing something big this Thursday, so I can't go fishing with you. But if you were to ask me on any other day, "Hey, T-Bone, you want to go fishing with me?" I'd say, "Yeah." And then I'd go, "You know the deal, right?" And you'd like, "Yeah." Because if you don't, well, it's not going to be a fun experience. I can't touch fish. I got issues. I can't. I have tried, man. I have tried my dangdest to touch fish. I can't. If they're living and they're moving, I can't do it. I've tried. So if you ever ask me to go fishing with you, I will say yes, but I will always confirm, you know the deal, right? And if you say yes, then let's go fishing. And if you say no, I have to embarrass myself and explain that as a grown man, I can't touch living fish. Anyway, think about all of that on Thursday, June 18th. National Go Fishing Day. I could really use a sip of water right now. I am so parched. Yeah, let's do that. Because why not? Because it's a federal holiday, that's why. Friday, June 19th is National, hold on to your horses now, Juneteenth Day. They really took their time on putting that one together. We need a name for this holiday that is stupid. It's a stupid holiday, and I'll explain why. If you want to celebrate the emancipation of slaves, the Emancipation Proclamation, that'd be a good day to do it. Any of the Reconstruction Amendments, the 13th, the 14th, the 15th Amendments of the U.S. Constitution, when those were ratified, any of those would be a great day to celebrate. But June 19th, in Galveston, Texas, and only in Galveston, Texas, the locals there just didn't get the news. They had not heard or chose to ignore the Emancipation Proclamation and the ratification of the 13th, the 14th, and 15th Amendments. Galveston, Texas, tiny little coastal town in Texas, chose to either not know or ignore the freedom given to former slaves. But 2.5 years later, an Army general rolls into town and goes, "What in the tarnation are y'all doing here? You can't have slaves no more. Didn't y'all get the message?" And they were like, "Oh, no, we didn't get the message." They probably got the message and just chose to ignore it. I'll free my slaves when somebody tells me to free my slaves, but I'm not taking the freedom of my slaves from the local newspaper. I'm not doing that. I don't know. I don't know what their reasoning is. But 2.5 years after the slaves were actually freed, a general from the United States Army had to go into Galveston, Texas, and remind those slave owners that you can't do that no more. Galveston, Texas. Not America. In America, they had already been freed 2.5 years earlier. Now, why is Juneteenth a big deal? It shouldn't be. In my opinion, it definitely shouldn't be a national holiday. If anything, it should be a national poke Galveston, Texas in the eye day. Because they were jacked up. The rest of the country was doing better. We were moving forward. We were making things happen. But this tiny little town in Texas wasn't. And now we celebrate that stupidity by giving everyone the day off. And we've been celebrating that stupidity long before everybody got the day off. Because, people from Galveston moved out of Galveston. So y'all know we were suffering from slavery for an extra 2.5 years. Let's celebrate the day the news made it to Galveston. Locally, one of the people in my community is on the Book of Faces, and they're saying things like, "I need to know where the Juneteenth celebrations are. I want to get my children out there so they can learn." And I only laugh emoji'd it. I thought that was funny. And she had the nerve to hit me up and say, "Did you accidentally laugh emoji me?" No, I didn't. And I responded with such. And basically, everything I just said here is what I said in my response. And I believe it to still be true. You want to celebrate the end of slavery, do it. But do it when slavery was ended in the United States. Not when a tiny little town in Texas finally got the word. Don't care. Because I guarantee you, there were other places in America that were still practicing slavery. Heck, there are places in America today that are practicing slavery. So wrap your brain around that while you celebrate on your day off, Friday, June 19th. Juneteenth. Durr. I don't like it, you may have guessed. And there's no, I'm not a racist. But if you say you don't like Juneteenth, immediately what are they going to call you? Racist. Not racist. Person with an opinion and knowledge of history is what I am. It brings all the boys to the yard. I'm going to do this one for 2 reasons. And I'll tell you what those reasons are in a second. Saturday, June 20th, is National Seashell day. When it came up as one of my options, I immediately thought of my friends who are traveling back from the beach today, where they have been hanging out for a while, doing some vacationing, some much needed respite, if you will. And what do you find on the beach? Well, you find seashells in all shapes, sizes, and colors. I also chose National Seashell Day to shout out my friend Lennon Free, who has a great joke about seashells. He says if you put a seashell up to your ear, you can hear the ocean. And he goes, yeah, especially if you're at the beach. That's where the reception is the best. It's a one-liner. It's a very funny joke. I like it. It makes me laugh every time I hear it. And he gets a shout out. I like conch shells. I like eating conch as well. Be very careful on the pronunciation when you say that out loud. I like eating conch, and I like conch shells, but I've never seen one in the wild. Like every conch shell I've ever seen has always been on display in a souvenir shop. And every conch I've ever eaten has always been in the hood. True story. I've never had fine dining conch. I don't care what you do or where you do it, but if you have a way to enjoy a seashell, whether it just be the coolness of how it looks or the unique pattern that every seashell is different from every other seashell, I don't know how you do the things that you do, but if you do all of those things, I hope you enjoy it. On Saturday, June 20th, National Seashell Day. And finally, stupid, 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 and stupid. Why not? We'll do that one. Sunday, June 21st, is National Selfie Day. There is an art to selfies. The people who do this, they take it up way high, and fat people, we push our chins out to make this not so glaring. You want to be like this all the time when you're taking your selfie. And my phone, I can just wave at it and take it, so I don't have to worry about moving my hand around. It'll take it for me. But whenever you can, not take a selfie, don't. Why are you taking selfies? Why are you taking selfies? At the very minimum, you should be taking an Ussie. At the very minimum. And you should do that in landscape mode, because it's easier to get people in the landscape mode, You're just like, here's a friend. You haven't seen this friend in a very long time. Let's get proof of life photo and take it. Boom, boom. You're done. Got it. Whenever you take a selfie, remember, an Ussie, a them, a wee, I don't know. There's other names. But whenever you do any of that, remember, hit the button multiple times. Yeah, just in case I don't know anymore. Nowadays, AI fixes bad photos. You just you take a bad photo and then you go into AI and say, I screwed up. This one's blurry. Fix it. And it will. It will. It will do all kinds of amazing things. Right now, the big thing on TikTok, they got a new AI thing out. And it's amazing. It really is. It's really amazing. You just you put your name in and you give it a scene, and it will do the scene for the most part. And they're really good. It takes a long time to process, though. It takes like 20 minutes to process. There's a lot of data processing. There's a lot of data centers that are firing up for my stupid little 12-second videos. But I came up with one that I thought would be really cool, and I programmed it in, and I was like, make this happen. And it was like, no, that violates our policy, our community standards. I'm like, how? How does that violate your community standards? Just make this thing happen. And it refused to do it. And I would like to... The vision that I have, I think, would be beautiful. It's just me and my wife sitting with our dog in between us, who gets up, kisses us, and then runs off and to the sunset and grows his wings and flies off into heaven. I think that'd be really cool, but I haven't done it yet. So I don't know selfie technology anymore. I don't know if you even need to take more than one photo. Heck, I don't know why for 31 minutes there's been a blank screen on TikTok. I mean, I have no idea. And I also don't care. I don't care anymore. But think about that. And you know what? Take an Ussie on Selfie Day. Sunday, June 21st. National Selfie/Ussie Day. All right, I'm going to pick up the pace just a little bit because not only am I extremely parched, but I really need to use the bathroom. And I didn't hydrate or use the bathroom before beginning, so we need to punch through this. Let's get the next thing, your char. Comedy, community, or charity note. I am going to remind you until this happens, unless something else takes over or something else comes up that I want to remind you of. But Harrisburg Comedy Zone is running the Harrisburg Hilarious Comedy Competition for the 4th year in a row. It begins on July 17th. It's Friday and Saturday, and then it's Friday and Saturday the next week, and then it's Friday and Saturday the next week, and it's Friday and Saturday the next week. It's 6 weeks. 6 weeks of, 4 weeks, 3 weeks. It's several weeks of comedy. Some of the most funny, most talented people in and around the Harrisburg greater metropolitan area will be coming to the Harrisburg Comedy Zone. We got 64 comedians that will be battling it out. Cost of admission for you is but a mere $10. So you've got plenty of time to put this on your schedule. You can watch the prelims, watch a bunch of people go up against one another, and your vote counts. And it's none of this California voting anomaly things, okay? Nobody's going to come from behind. No comedian who's at the bottom of the tabulations will miraculously come from behind to win. That's not going to happen. I know the people who count the votes, and they're very integritous. They got a lot of the integrities. They take the thing seriously. So everybody gets 3 votes, and you have to vote for 3 people. You can't just vote for one person, and you can't, if you vote for one person, your vote doesn't count. You vote for 2 people, your vote doesn't count. You must vote for 3 people, and it's mathematically just a great way of keeping the contest honest. 64 comedians, get all the way down to I think we have 5, and 5. I think we get down from 64 to 20-ish. And then from 20-ish, we get down to like 10, and then 10 down to 1. It's going to be a good time. Make plans now to go to the Harrisburg Comedy Zone in mid-July. Just go ahead and put it on your calendar. You're going to do something. Admission's $10. It's going to be a good time. You're going to have a blast. If you come early, if you start with us at the beginning of the competition, and then you can have your favorite. And then you can come back into the semifinals and root for your favorite again. And then you can come back to the finals and root for your favorite again. And that's only $30 per person for 3 different levels of comedy. But if you say the phrase that pays, I will get you in for free for one or all of the competitions. But you must say the phrase that pays. And if you don't know what that is, keep paying attention. It's the same one that we used last year. You have to say it. And you can't go up there and be shy at the last second and not say it and still get it for free. Not doing that. Take me for a sucker? Take me for a chump? No. It's the Harrisburg Hilarious. It's the 4th annual Harrisburg Hilarious Competition. You can find out more by going to harrisburgcomedyzone.com or hbgcomedyzone.com. Moving on to a thing that is a thing. Oh, I went over to TikTok and it's showing. I'm moving on. I don't know why I'm doing that to the Canadian national anthem. It's Barcelona today. I can't wait for the wife to get back so we can go watch that together. Here we go again. This is time for this is time for This Week in History. Trivia style. 7 questions. We're going to get through them, okay? I see how many viewers I have right now, and it's not a lot. It's not enough to wait. It's not enough for me to stick around and pee my pants. So I'm going to say it. I'm going to give you the answers. I'm going to stall just a little bit for you to get your answer in. And if it doesn't happen, I'm moving on. I got to move on. Got to get this going. Here we go. Question number 1. June 8th, 1949. What novel was published by George Orwell? June 8th, 1949. What novel was published by George Orwell? Was it Animal Farm, 1984, Brave New World, or Fahrenheit 451? Those are your options. Animal Farm, 1984, Brave New World, or Fahrenheit 451. Because I'm moving through these, I'm just going to write down my answers. I'm going to go with this one because I don't want to spoil your answers. James incorrectly says War of the Worlds, and I thought you were driving. How are you typing and driving at the same time? I don't like it. Unless Jessica's driving, and that's even scarier. I got one answer, and it's War of the Worlds, which was not one of the ones. Roger pops in with Animal Farm. And since I got some answers in there, I'm going to say I also believe it to be Animal Farm. It's not Brave New World. It's not Fahrenheit 451. It's either Animal Farm or 1984, but I believe it to be Animal Farm. James is going to have a chance to put in the correct answer or not. I don't know. June 9th, 1934. What cartoon character made his debut in The Wise Little Hen? What cartoon character made his debut on June 9th, 1934 in The Wise Little Hen? Was it Mickey Mouse, Goofy, Donald Duck, or Pluto? In my brain, I see Mickey for the very first time. And there are no hens around, so I don't believe it to be Mickey. Goofy and Pluto are both dogs. I guess either one of them could have been trying to do something. Roger's going to go with Mickey Mouse. I am going to go with Donald Duck. I think Donald Duck has more to do with the wise little hen than two dogs or a mouse. And I'm pretty sure the first time you see Mickey Mouse, he's on a train. I think. I'm not sure. But I'm not sticking around for other people's answers because I got to go. June 10th, 1752. Going back here for a bit, okay? June 10th, 1752. What did Benjamin Franklin famously prove? Mickey was on the boat. Yes, steamboat Mickey or something, steamboat. Yeah, I agree. Mickey Mouse is wrong. So what is your correct answer? June 10th, 1752. What did Benjamin Franklin famously prove? Answer number 1, gravity. 2, electricity and lightning are related. 3, the earth is round. Or 4, steam power works. What did Benjamin Franklin famously prove? We all know. We all know, given these options, that it wasn't gravity, it wasn't the earth is round, and it wasn't that steam power works. Roger's going to go with Pluto. Okay, sure, why not? Pluto could be chasing the wise little hen. Makes sense. I like Daffy Duck chasing the wise little hen a la Pepe Le Pew, you know, the old sexual assault cartoons of our youth. Gravity, electricity, and lightning are related. The earth is round. Steam power works. Which one is it? Roger says electricity and throws a little lightning bolt in there for extra credit. Good for you. I agree. Electricity is bad. Okay. June 11th, 1964. What? Oh, excuse me, 1963. I don't want you getting this confused. June 11th, 1963. What Alabama governor attempted to block integration at the University of Alabama? What Alabama governor attempted to block integration at the University of Alabama? I could probably do that in a couple different voices. Was it George Wallace? Was it Orville Faubus? Was it Ross Barnett? Or was it Lester Maddox? Now, any good human who's ever seen the movie Forrest Gump knows the answer to this here question. Roger says the racist one. He not wrong. What's funny is there's a famous black comedian who shares this name. And I remember I got to open for him once, and he didn't like the joke that I said. Yes, Roger correctly chose Wallace. It is George Wallace. He was the governor of Alabama who tried to stop integration at the University of Alabama. June 12th, 1967. What Supreme Court decision struck down laws banning interracial marriage? What Supreme Court decision in June 12, 1967 struck down laws that banned interracial marriage? Was it Brown versus Board of Education? No, it wasn't, but that's a funny option. That's a funny option to have. Was it Roe v. Wade? If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. Was it Miranda v. Arizona? Or was it Loving v. Virginia? This is a famous Supreme Court case because you couldn't have interracial marriage in a lot of places, and they took it up through the courts. And the case of I don't want to give it away. I want Roger to get his answer before I ruin it. I think he's smart enough. He's going to know. It's not Brown versus Board of Education. It's not Roe v. Wade. It's not Miranda versus Arizona. It is Loving v. Virginia. Loving versus Virginia. And the Supreme Court overrules all the laws that says you can't have interracial marriages. But years later, Virginia takes on the slogan, Virginia is for lovers. I always found that to be hilarious. And an easy way to remember what state was lost its case when it came to interracial marriages. June 13th, 1966. What landmark court ruling required police to inform suspects of their rights? Was it Gideon v. Wainwright, Miranda v. Arizona, Mapp v. Ohio, or Plessy v. Ferguson? Now, I know the one person playing along with me today is going to get that right. There's no way he's getting this one wrong. It's not happening. Because he knows things, and I also know things. But for those of you playing in the future, I'll give it to you again. What landmark court ruling required police to inform suspects of their rights was on June 13th, 1966? Was it Gideon versus Wainwright, Miranda versus Arizona, Mapp versus Ohio, or Plessy versus Ferguson? While I'm waiting for him to get his answer in, because I'm sure it's going to be right, but I'm not going to give it away until I confirm he's right, I'm going to tell you an interesting thing about this case. So this guy is a bad guy, okay? And the attorneys don't fight the case on the fact that whether he, there he is, he's got the correct answer, Miranda versus Arizona. So Miranda's a bad guy. And Miranda gets arrested and taken to jail, and his attorney says that the confession that he gave, because he did the bad thing that he did, shouldn't be used because his client wasn't aware that he didn't have to give a confession. He wasn't aware that he had the right to remain silent. And that if he didn't remain silent, anything he says can and will be used against him in a court of law. He didn't know that. So what was basically a technicality got him off because he wasn't aware of his rights. So his confession was thrown out. They didn't have, once you get a confession, cops tend to get lazy. They don't get the rest of the evidence that they need to get. Because why? I got a confession. I don't need to do all that hard work. I got a confession. But the confession got thrown out and the conviction got thrown out, and Miranda was free to roam the streets again. And not shortly after his release, he was murdered. And the person they arrested for the murder of Miranda was read his Miranda rights. That one had to be kind of interesting. Hey, I got to read this to you, but it's named after that guy. How crazy is that? And finally, June 14th, 1777. 1777. I felt like a little Casey Kasem there for a second. What did the Continental Congress officially adopt on June 14th, 1777? Was it the Constitution? Was it the Declaration of Independence, the Articles of Confederation, or the United States flag? What did the Continental Congress officially adopt on June 14th, 1777? The Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the Articles of Confederation, or the United States flag? I think I've done really good today. I won't know. I find out the answers when you find out the answers. I think I did good today, and I think there's a possibility I might get this one wrong, because I think Flag Day is the day where, we celebrate the flag. Roger says flag, and I think it's also flag. Why? Because it's June 14th, 1777. The Declaration of Independence has already been signed. The Constitution has already been signed. The Articles of Confederation were way before that. I agree with Roger. I believe it is the United States flag was adopted. I also don't believe it was the Betsy Ross flag. That comes later, which is maybe that's when Flag Day is, when we accept that one. I type in the magic words, answers please, and I now have the answers in front of me. Here we go again, starting off bad. I got number one wrong, as did everybody else. The first answer was actually 1984. He wrote that in 1949. Not a bad guess. Question number two, it was Donald Duck. Oh, no. Donald Duck appeared in more films than Mickey Mouse. Also, somehow everyone understands him despite sounding like he's garbling marbles. Question number three, of course, was electricity and lightning are related. Question number four, George Wallace. Wallace's stand in the courthouse door became one of the defining images of the civil rights eras. Federal authorities ultimately enforced the integration order. Question number five was Loving v. Virginia. Question number six was Miranda v. Arizona. And it says here, if you've ever watched a police drama, you've heard the result. Yes, one court case generated perhaps the most famous script in television history. That's hilarious. June 14th was the United States flag. The Continental Congress resolved the flag would have 13 striped and 13 stars. They didn't specify exactly how the stars would be arranged, which is why early American flags came in all kinds of designs. So with the exception of question number, I went 6 for 6. That makes me happy, because it makes me happy. I would have preferred to go 7 for 7, but it is what it is. We're going to wrap it up there. I got to rest my voice before me and Chick Brew get together for another episode of the LUNSB Show with T-Bone and Chick Brew. Find us anywhere fine podcasts are sold for free, okay? With that being said, I remind you today, as I remind you every day, just be the best person that you could be. And if you were a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow. Chick Brew sends her love. LUNSB.